Your father was an honorable man.
He was, your grace.
What do you think he'd have done with him?
I was this man's prisoner once. He could have tortured me, he could have killed me. But he spared my life. I think my father would have taken him prisoner. Listen to what he had to say.
Very well, then. Take him.
The Night of the Laughing Tree, Lyanna Stark. Now there are 3 symbols associated with Lyanna Stark, and those symbols are the blue winter rose, the weirwood laughing face, and the crypts of Winterfell. And I think by deciphering all 3 of these symbols is how you figure out the future for Jon Snow. Now the Starks' names are known throughout the 7 kingdoms and beyond the wall.
So, you're Ned Stark's bastard.
But it is not the name I want to focus on. It is the symbol that is on the shield of the Night of the Laughing Tree. The device upon the shield was a heart tree of the old god, a white redwood with a laughing red face. Bran 2, a storm of swords. Now the first thing I think we must take from this story is that it's told by Meera to Bran. Now Jojen expects that Bran must have heard this story 1,000 times from his father, but Bran tells him that old Nan was the one who told him his stories. Now I feel we could take a couple of things from that statement right there. Number 1, Howland Reed drilled this story in his children's head for some reason. Now he made sure they remembered this story. He personally told them this story over and over again. And why would he do that? Now we know that he is the man in the story, and it seems that his children know that he is the man in the story also. And we know that Lyanna Stark is the woman in the story, and we also know that the children seem to know that Lyanna Stark is the person in the story also. Now we must remember that Howland Reed is an agent for the Children of the Forest, and the Children of the Forest are agents of Blood Raven. And it's this meeting between Lyanna and Rhaegar when he finds out that she is the Knight of the Laughing Tree, after he is sent to do so from his father. And his father does so because he believes that the weirwood face is laughing at him. So his father is being manipulated, and his father has been manipulated for a long time at this particular time. And he sends him off Rhaegar to find the Knight of the Laughing Tree. And it's this meeting that I believe that seals the deal for them to run off together. And Harrenhal is where we are presented with the symbol of the blue winter rose. So Blood Raven, who I believe caused the tragedy at Summerhall, which was the birth of Rhaegar, then manipulates the birth of Rhaegar's child Jon Snow. And I want you to remember that the blue winter rose is the symbol for forbidden love. And we see this with Bael the Bard. And this is told to Jon by Ygritte, which is in itself a forbidden love. Now Bael was called a craven by the Lord of Winterfell, Bran Stark, and this led him to scale the wall to prove his courage. He then took to the King's Road and made his way to Winterfell under the disguise as a singer named Skerrick of Skagos. Now it just so happened that this was the word for deceiver in Skagosi. But apparently, the lords and ladies of the north did not speak Skagosi, but the people beyond the wall did. And it seemed that the Skagosi did keep some of the old wilding ways, so to say.
I'm going to eat them. Do you hear me? I'm going to eat your dead mama, and I'm going to eat your dead papa. Go tell the crows at Castle Black.
Now at midnight, Bran Stark, impressed with the skill set of the singer, asks him if he wants a reward. And Bael's response is the most beautiful flower blooming in Winterfell gardens. So the king gives him a blue rose that was just blossoming at the time. But the following morning, his virgin daughter had bounced, and the rose was left in her bed. Even though the Night's Watch are not supposed to get involved in realm matters, they still search for Bael and the girl under the orders of Bran Stark. And it turns out that Bael and the girl just chilled in the Winterfell crypts until the baby was born. And is this bastard that becomes the Lord of Winterfell.
The North remembers. We know no king but the king in the North whose name is Stark. I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king from this day until his last day.
It is also this son who kills his father in the Battle of the Frozen Ford due to the fact that Bael would not kill his own son. And after he chops off his father's head, he brings it to his mother, which makes his mother kill herself by jumping off the tower. Later, he is killed by the hands of the Boltons. Now we see this repeated again, twice, by one man, Mance Rayder. Now the first time is when he goes to the feast with Robert Baratheon. He sneaks over the wall by the Long Barrow. It's not important that he met Robert Baratheon or his trip there, but what is important is what happened to him on his way back, and is when he met his own Winter Rose, Dahlia. I met her on my return from your father's castle, he tells Jon Snow. Now once again, all roads lead back to Jon Snow. So who is Dahlia? Now Dahlia dies giving birth to a son during the Battle of Castle Black. Now his son, Aemon Steelsong or Aemon Battleborn, is given to Gilly to save from Melisandre. Now whether Cersei in the show Game of Thrones was loosely based on Dahlia or Val in the books is up for debate. But if it is, as in the books, there is no doubt you can hear a definite difference in speech pattern and the way she speaks compared to the other wildlings.
On below. Oh, she was no ordinary beast. Benny's the man with a...
I know you never fucked a bear. You know you never fucked a bear. Right now, I don't want to think about the bear you never fucked.
I'll never trust a man in black. But I trust you, Tormund. If you say this is the way, we're with you.
Now during the burning of Mance, or as we all know, Rattleshirt, Dahlia's sister Val is present wearing Dahlia's clothes. Val was clad in all white. White wooden breeches tucked into high boots of bleached white leather. White bearskin cloak pinned at the shoulder with a white weirwood face. Now I stress the white weirwood face. Why do I do this? I think it's her house sigil, which I think is the sigil for the Bael line, which is why Mance married her in the first place, which is why she speaks better than every other wildling, which is why Stannis made Val Queen of Winterfell. Val stood beside him, tall and fair. They had crowned her with a simple circuit of dark bronze, yet she looked more regal in bronze than Stannis did in gold. Her eyes were gray and fearless, unflinching. Beneath an ermine cloak, she wore white and gold. Her honey blonde hair had been done up with a thick braid that hung over her white shoulder to her waist. The chill in her air had put color in her cheeks. Jon 3, A Dance with Dragons. Now I know the gray eyes are associated with the Starks, but I believe that the gray eyes are really associated with the Bael side. Just like the warging ability of the Starks come from defeating the warging king and taking his daughters for wife, I believe that these eyes are prominent because this is the line of the Bael side that got mixed into the Stark line. So all three stories all have the three things in common. We have the Blue Rose, we have the crypts in Winterfell, and we have a weirwood sigil. So I believe when Stannis said he'd spent hours talking to Mance, I believe that Mance told him about Dahlia's family line. And that is why Stannis crowned Val Lady of Winterfell. So, if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace! And stay sexy.